My name is Olga Somers, and I am based out of beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I've been just working towards this goal of mine of licensing my art for about a year. I've thought about it for about a year and a half, and I've been about serious about it for about a year. Since I'm a new artist, I've only been kind of tapping into my creative being for the last literally couple of years because my real job is quite demanding and stressful. Art has become my outlet, my creative outlet, and I've been really pursuing it for the last couple of years. I was very new to art. I drew as a kid, like all kids draw, of course, but really nothing serious or consistent my entire adulthood. And the only reason I started drawing the last couple of years is because I burnt out at work. I'm a nurse by day, and I work long, demanding hours and very stressful job, and I needed a creative outlet. I've tried a couple of things, nothing really stuck until I decided to buy an iPad, and somebody told me about Procreate, and you should see my first couple of drawings on it. Abysmal. But it unlocked something. And for the last, I would say 2 years, I started kind of doodling and tracing things and realizing, okay, I actually have a little bit of a interest in it and it's growing and I'm getting better the more I practice. And so I've really been drawing and illustrating for the last year and a half, maybe, seriously. And the biggest thing I've been struggling with is really understanding how to create pieces that will actually sell and make income for me. It doesn't have to be a big income or life-changing. At this point in time, I just wanted to see if I can create something that other people would appreciate and pay money for. Art ended up being that thing that called me the most. And I took a couple of courses, and the more courses I took, the more I realized this is something I want to take seriously, but I don't know where to start. It's like walking into this room and not knowing anything. And everybody in this room already knows what they're doing. And you're just looking around. You're like, I'm so overwhelmed, but I want to be part of this group. I don't know how that happened, but I saw an email from Kat advertising Art of Collections. Whatever was said in that email resonated with me immediately. And I think the strongest message was, if you don't know where to start, if you're a total beginner, we will hold your hand and walk you through every step of the process. And that was like, yes, that's what I need. I am so new. I need somebody to explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. And that's exactly what I got from it. So I'm so happy I joined. I cannot tell you. Since I joined the program, I found that I need structure to be successful at anything in life. And the program really gave me that structure. And I really appreciate it because if you leave things up to me, I will be a complete mess trying to figure things out on my own, bopping from one idea to another. What I really appreciated is the program really broke everything down between, okay, we have a business step and we have like an art step, a collection step. And in my brain, that made total sense. And in the beginning of the program, I wanted to do everything all at once. And it was really nice that it was reiterated throughout the program that if you fall behind, even though there's no such thing as behind, but if you are not following the real time, it's okay because it's always there. The steps are always there and you can go back on your time. Or for example, if you're not ready to do the newsletter, you can come back to that step later on. And I needed that structure and I needed that clear breakdown of what the program is like so I can go back, kind of customize my pace as well. What surprised me most about being in the program is how supportive everybody is. I knew it would be the case because people are polite usually in programs like this, but I did not expect such a huge engagement from people and interaction, and I really appreciate it. I appreciated people I don't know just commenting and offering honest opinions and support and encouragement, and I felt like I made friends there, even though I've never met these people, with the exception of just one in real life. But for the most part, I don't know these people, and I feel like we've known each other for a year now. Well, this will be a very honest answer. In the beginning, when I was very excited about this course, I was cramming everything in my life. And that included the job and doing the collections and the business steps and replying to as many people as I could and posting my stuff. And I did that for the first few months. And then I had some changes in my life, my personal life. So I could not keep up that pace. So my participation has weaned since then. And having said that, every time I popped back in when I had time or, it was a good timing to come back and check in. It was really nice because it's like I've never left. There was no gap. Pick up where you are and just continue. So I really appreciated that. The self-pacing thing really helps with people demanding jobs because even though there is a schedule, which I do really well with, but there's no judgment attached to that schedule. So if you miss, a month or a thing, a to-do list, or like a to-do item, there isn't like this negative feeling attached to it. Like, oh, I didn't do it, therefore I'm a horrible person. It's more like, okay, I didn't get to it this time, I will do it later. And then what really surprised me is when I logged into the collective and I saw how many other people were saying, I missed last month, this is me catching up, or this month I'm just gonna take a break because I have things happening. And it just shows that we're all human, and it shows that we all have lives, families, jobs, etc. So you can have this course as a full-time job if you want to. You can spend a whole, 8 hours a day there, or you can just take it at your pace. And I really, really appreciate it, especially in the moments where my life was really overwhelming and I needed to take a step back. I happen to be all or nothing person to my own detriment sometimes. I created a bunch of collections when I first started, and I loved every minute of it before life hit really hard and I had to move countries, and it was chaos for a good half of this year. But when I was focused and dedicated, I was creating pretty much a collection per month. And so I've created a solid 4 or 5 collections in the beginning of the program. Then I had a little bit of a break. And then I started working on these other projects like my calendar, and which are essentially, it is a collection. It's just, it doesn't have any patterns. It's all heroes. And that took way more than 1 month. But I finally feel like I could use the prompts and the gentle nudges, but I also starting to feel like I have the confidence to go my own way, which has not happened before. Before it's been like, tell me what to do and I will do the thing. And I will only do the thing because I don't know what I'm doing. But now it's like, okay, I hear the prompt. I love it. Let's put a pin on it. But I'm super excited about this other thing that I just saw or got inspired to make. And so I'm going to follow that little voice and I'm going to see how far that takes me. So overall, to answer your question, overall, I would probably made 6 or 7 collections so far. Yes, I did. And my latest aha moment was when I was working on my calendar. I have this brand that I'm collaborating with, and they decided to purchase 250 of my calendars for their holiday giveaway. I'm so excited for this project. And I realized very quickly after finishing the deal and the contract, I realized very quickly that I'm way over my head with this, and I actually don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I need an assistant. I need somebody to tell me and research for me while I'm working on the art itself. My biggest aha moment was when I realized that somebody could be another person from the collective. And I found my buddy and connected with them, pitched my idea, and it was perfect match because she was looking for somebody to work with as well. Although we live in different countries, I'm in Canada, she's in the States, but we are very close. We're basically less than 2 hours away from each other. We ended up meeting in person, and this was before we got together on this deal. We met up in person and had coffee. It was amazing. And so we already had that personal connection. I love her art. I love her work ethic. It just worked. And when I said, hey, I'm working on this deal, I need somebody to research for me and do all the behind the scenes things while I'm focusing on the art itself. Can you help me? She said yes. And I was like, where else would I could have found this person on the internet, I suppose, but it totally does not match the same level of trust and just getting to know somebody like I knew from the collection, watching them grow with me for the last 12 months. This is the person I want to work with. So that was my biggest win, I think. This is so wild. She messaged me after we got together for a coffee, and she said, Elena was one of the guests. And I loved her little presentation, and you should watch it because I missed it. So I watched it and I said, oh my gosh, she's like incredible and I love her so much. And Cheryl goes, I'm going to book my 1 hour with her as a strategist. So she does that and then messages me back, says, this is incredible. This girl, like her brain is just gold. So of course, what do? I book my own session with her, and I'm like, I want what she's having. When I was talking to Cheryl about her call with Elena, Cheryl's like, she just gave me a really good idea about not just focusing on the art, although that's good too, but seeing if I can help other artists or other brands. And I said, oh, this is amazing. Tell me what your new pitch would be. So she showed me the pitch, and as I'm reading her pitch, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm your client. Like, you're speaking to me. I think I'm your client. And she said, oh no, I'm not pitching you. I'm just sharing what I would send out to an email. And I'm like, no, I understand, but I'm your client. Hi, pick me, work with me, please. So that's how, and she goes, are you sure? And I said, yes, I'm 100%. I need help. And I need it like yesterday. So it worked for her. It worked for me. We got a client together, this brand. And like, is that not a win-win? My mind is blown how that all worked out. I definitely feel more confident in this journey now, for sure. Simply because I've done it a few times now. I've made collections a few times. I know what to expect. Some collections are better than others, like anything else, but at least the process has become more familiar. It's less scary because anytime you do something more than once, you kind of build that muscle and that memory. Now I'm focusing less on how to build my collections and more on other things. So it's nice to kind of build that asset library of, I know how to make collections now, I know how to pitch, what is the next thing that I need to learn. So for sure, feel more confident. Not to say I know it all. There's like a million things to learn still, and I still feel like a baby in this whole entire industry. And a lot of people, their incredible work just like intimidates the heck out of me because I'm like, okay, who am I to be next to these people in this collective? However, together with the support, with the wonderful humans that are next to me, it's kind of nice to see it as I'm gonna learn from them. I am learning from them. And it makes me feel like I'm in good hands and I'm more confident going forward with my stuff too. So the short version is, yes, technically, I have pitched before. The long version is nowhere near as much as I need to get any kind of results. But the biggest change for me is I noticed over time, I've become more comfortable coming up to somebody and say, oh, hi, I'm an illustrator or I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. In fact, there is another story. So because I'm a money nerd, and I've been a money nerd for a long time, I go to this conference. It's called FinCon, Financial Conference, every year. And they host it in different places every year. And this year was in Portland. And I was just there in September with my money nerd friends. And for the first time ever, I attended that conference not as a personal finance creator, but I attended it as an illustrator. And that was huge. And at first I'm like, wait, I'm at the wrong place. Who invited this arts person to money thing? Like, you got the wrong address. But then I had this really good idea. First, I'm still interested in the subject matter, right? Because obviously that's me. But second of all, I approached it as every time I met somebody new, it was more like, hi, I'm not your competition. I just love the space. But what I can do, if you're interested, I can draw for your brand. And if you're interested in making stickers or merch or any kind of illustration, think of me because I'm one of you guys and I also can draw. The response was shocking to me because then people were like, oh, that's different because everybody's a money coach here. Everybody is doing personal finance thing. And then one time I overheard somebody say, oh, there's an illustrator here. And I'm like, that's me. I'm the illustrator. I'm the only person in this entire conference that is so different from everybody else. However, if I can connect the dots, it can actually make sense. So I walked away from that conference with 2 different creators who actually booked me and paid for my services. And I created stickers one for the website, and then the other one is stickers for their new podcast that they're starting. So I was like, hey, just because you're in the wrong room doesn't mean you don't belong there. You can make yourself, as an artist, you can make yourself applicable literally anywhere. You just need to package it right. That was, I don't even know how we started talking about it, but that was the biggest kind of coolest thing confidence. Yeah, so the confidence question. I showed up and I'm like, this is what I do. Never mentioned that I'm a nurse. Never mentioned that I did personal finance in the, way back when. It's just like, oh, I draw for a living and I like money. So let's work together. And it was great. It was such a confidence boost. Oh, how I would describe an art collections who's somebody who's never heard it before. I would describe it as this is a hand-holding course for everybody from the very beginners to people who are already established in the space. Everybody's welcome. And especially those who need a little bit of direction or a lot of direction and structure, but without the pressures. That is the best way I learn because it gives you enough of freedom, enough of flexibility, but also when you crave that, I don't know what I'm doing, I need somebody else to tell me what to do, that course, that program gives you that because if you choose to, there is an entire laid out plan for you to follow if you want 100% hand holding, or you can use that as just suggestions, as prompts, but you don't have to follow it. You can do your own thing, just be part of this wonderful community. I would say action is the best cure for anxiety. And for me at least, if I'm unsure or on the fence, the best thing for me is to try something. And if it doesn't work, then you've tried it. You know what worked, what didn't, move on and do something else. In my personal experience, being on the fence never worked long term. Eventually you need to make a decision, and the decision could be either yes or no. But for me, almost always trying whatever it is that I'm thinking about trying but don't want to, almost always when I do try the thing, it turns out to be less scary than I thought originally, less complicated, especially with good support and good guidance. And at the end, almost always it ends up being a beneficial thing for me. So that's how I approach these things. I find that the more I sit on a decision, the more anxious I get, because it becomes this bigger thing than it really is. Not to say that, some decisions, of course, they're big decisions, they need to be taken seriously and whatever. But when we're discussing, should I have somebody who is an expert in this field guide me through this field I also want to be an expert in? Yes, the answer is pretty clear. That is your person. You should definitely, they have a thing or two that they can teach you, for sure. The best place to find me is on Instagram or my website. It's summertimedesigns.com. Or if you are part of the CAD Collective, I will be inside. I'm a member, and you can reach out anytime.